So now we want to code our good guy, and we want to make him move with arrow keys on the keyboard. So I'm going to show you how we do that. Let me briefly show you something that looks a little strange, but here is a picture of a keyboard. We want to be able to click up to make our good guy go up on the arrow key. If we click the down arrow key, he needs to go down. If we click the left arrow key, he needs to go left, and right, go right. So that's what we have to code, and that's 4 different scripts that we're going to be making in Scratch to do that. Let me show you really quickly on the game end when you're finished with your project and you click play. I'm going to control our good guy, this crab. I'm using the arrow keys right now. I'm going to click the down arrow. There's the down. Left arrow, up arrow, right arrow. And so that is how we want to code him to move. I want to show you something, and you do not have to understand it totally, but maybe today we can start to try to understand it. If you look here in the lower right hand area of the stage, we've got the stage here, we have X and Y. And the point of this is X and Y is used to indicate where things are located on the stage. Okay, and that's part of what we're going to be working with today. So basically the way it works is, and I want you to just watch this really quickly. As I move my cursor over the stage, I want you to watch these numbers, okay? Let's start with Y. And I like to think Y to the sky. All right, so, all right, Y says -18 right now, -18. When I go up, it's positive. That positive means there's no minus sign in front of it. And as I go up, what do you see happening to that Y number? It gets bigger, because what we're looking at here is that we're at the Y position of 99, and that means something in Scratch. You don't have to totally get that right now, but you need to understand it a little bit in order to code this good guy. Let's see what happens when I go down with Y. Okay, as I slowly go down, that number slowly goes down on Y. There's Y22, Y6, uh-oh. And then as we go down here, we see the number is becoming negative, and it gets more and more and more negative. So see how there's around here in the middle, there's like a 0 point, right? It's 0 kind of, or rather it's -1 down here kind of in the middle, and then as you go up it's positive. So it's weird. It's like it's numbered from 1 to a bigger number down this way, and then 1 to a bigger number up this way. X works with left and right. So Y goes up and down, Y to the sky or down there. X is a left-right thing. So let's see what happens to X when I go to the right. All right. Okay, that number gets bigger. It's positive that way. Okay. Bigger, bigger, bigger. And let's see what happens when I go to the left with X. All right. We're getting a smaller number. What's going to happen when I hit 1 or below? Oh, -1, and then suddenly the numbering starts over and it starts going into the negatives. Okay, so that's all this is about positioning your character on the Scratch stage. So to give you a quick visual, Y goes up, the positive Y goes up for some number. Remember, a number is tied to it as well. And when you go down, it's basically like thinking of -Y, okay? And when you go to the right and left, you're dealing with X. So X to the right is a positive X, some number. It can be any number from 1 to bigger. And when you go to the left, X becomes negative. And that's how we know how to control our characters. So a quick recap here. You see I've got this handy little chart, and let me know if you have any questions about this. I'm going to actually show you how to code the character now. Okay, so let's code him for the up arrow first. What we want to do is go to the events blocks. Right now we're on motion blocks, the blue blocks, but let's go to events. And we want this when space key pressed block out here. So let's put that out there. And we're going to change this to up arrow. Okay? And when the up arrow key is pressed, we want to change our sprite's positive Y location by a certain number. So we want to go to motion, select motion, and then you want to select change Y by 10. Okay, so change Y by 10, and I can double click the stack to see what happens when I click my up arrow. So when I click my up arrow, this crab is going up by 10. So remember Y, we're changing the Y. The Y is the up, right? He's going up. Okay, so now let's code for the going down. That's going to be, that's also Y, but we want it to be -10 in terms of its Y position. So how do we do that? We go to Events, and we pull this when space key pressed again, and we click this drop down, and we want to say when down arrow key is pressed, and we can click the motion block. We want to use the same thing, change Y, and it automatically says 10, right? But we can click in here and we can add the negative number in front of it. So it makes it -10. So that means his Y position in the scratch stage will go -10, which means it goes down if you're talking about Y. So I'm clicking the arrow key now, and he's going down. Okay, so that's the up and down key. Let's do the left and right now. Left, so we go to Events, same thing. We'll pull this when space key pressed. Actually, let's do the right key. I'm kind of putting these in a position so it's like this is the up, this is the down, the left will be right here, and the right will be here. So when the right arrow is pressed, when he goes this way, we want to click the motion blocks, and we want him to, oh no, not that. We want to change X by +10 because that will take him in the direction, this direction, to the right. That's the positive direction for X, remember? And then finally, we want to pull the when space key is pressed block and change it to the drop down to down arrow. I'm sorry, not down arrow. We've already done that, right? Which one do I want? I want left arrow because remember, left is -X. So we're dealing with, for the X position, we're dealing with a negative number. So when the left arrow key is pressed, we want to change X by, not by 10, because that'll do the same thing as the right key right now, right? So what we want to do is we want to click in here and put a minus sign in front of the 10 and then click out. And now I can test it. I'm testing it on my keyboard. I'm clicking the left arrow, up arrow, changing the Y by 10 now, right arrow, changing the X by 10, going to the right, and down arrow by -10. And that is how you code the good guy to escape from the bad guy.